Hi team, so we're moving to question 3. This is working with your logarithms and exponential functions, and this one caused quite a few of us difficulty. So we've got to show that this equation here, ln bracket 1 plus e to the minus x close bracket plus 2x equals 0 can be expressed as a quadratic expression or equation in e to the x. Okay, now I saw some very interesting moves here which were invalid and didn't make sense. Some people just immediately turned this 2x into an ln 2x. I'm not quite sure how you can do that. That doesn't make sense to me. And some people did something to the left hand side. I think they just put everything in the left hand side to e to the left hand side, but they didn't do anything to the right hand side. So just try and make sure you remember your basic algebra, guys. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Now, my first move here would be actually to get this 2x across to the other side. And now I'm going to take e of both sides. Now, e to the ln x is just going to simply leave me on the this left-hand side with that, right? If I put ln bracket 1 plus e to the minus x all to the e to that, that will simplify to that. And then on the right-hand side, I'm going to have e to the minus 2x, which is good because I'm trying to get a quadratic equation, aren't I? In e to the x. So, you know, I'm looking for something like this, right? A quadratic equation, something that looks like this. So that's what I'm trying to achieve, and I'm getting pretty close to it. At this point, I might decide to times everything by e to the 2x, right? Both sides. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to have positive powers of x. So this 1 becomes e to the 2x. This e to the x e to the minus x becomes e to the x. And if you're a bit unsure about that, I'll just do that over here. You've got 1 over e to the x, which is the same as e to the minus x, and you're timesing it by e to the 2x. And you can just use your index laws at this point. So that's how we get that e to the x there. And then obviously if we times this by e to the x, then that's simply just going to become 1, right? E to the minus 2x times e to the 2x is 1. I'm going to pull that 1 across to the other side. So I now have my equation in the form of a quadratic, right? This is like u squared plus u minus 1 equals 0, or x squared, right? Okay, so that's my first one. I've got my full marks there. Now I'm going on to part 2, and for part 2, it says hence. Hence, I'm going to use what I've just done to solve the equation, giving my answer to 3dp. Well, my first step might be to find out what e to the x equals. And I'm going to use the quadratic formula. Right, remember, just over here, if I had a quadratic formula in u, I'd go u equals minus b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac, and then I'd pop that all over to a. Well, the u, or the x in this equation, is actually e to the x, right? So it will be minus b, so that's minus 1, because there's a coefficient of 1 in front of e to the x, plus or minus square root, and I've got a 1 squared, minus 4 times a. Now, the coefficient of the e to the 2x is 1, times c, which is minus 1. And I'm going to pop that all over 2 times a, right? And we can simplify that. It's going to be minus 1 plus or minus. Now, 1 take away 4, positive 4. So this should be positive square root 5, I think. And all of this is over 2. And that's what e to the x is. Now I want to find what x is. So x must equal ln of minus 1 plus or minus square root 5 all over 2. Right, you see that? E to the x, whoops, that's not what I intended. E to the x, right, that's what I've got, is this. To find x, I have to take ln of it to get rid of that e to find what x is, right? But you can see, I hope, that we don't want this minus sign here because that would actually give us a negative, and ln of a negative is undefined. So I'm going to therefore say, let's not use that. I'm going to say that x is equal to ln minus 1 plus square root 5 all over 2. And when we pop this into our calculator, what do we get? Ln minus 1 plus square root 5 over 2. And this gives me negative 0.481, and I'm going to 3 decimal places, and that is my final answer there. If you had trouble with this one, I suggest you try a few more past exam papers with these kinds of questions to just consolidate your understanding of how to work with ln and e. And if you're having any trouble, don't hesitate to contact me and I can help you out with that. Alright guys, take care.